Some nice ones, thank you.
He's a legend. I think he can do it. Absolutely. I mean, it's not going to be easy, but
how do you feel about Manny Pacquiao?
No, I love Manny, and I'm glad Manny going in too. Manny is one of the dudes that I think definitely deserves to be in. Manny always has been and always will be one of my favorites because of the way he fights. I mean, a guy to come back after being knocked out in his tour.
Manny Pacquiao is past his prime. He's not.
Boxing pros are weighing in on the Manny Pacquiao versus Mario Barrios fight. Oscar De La Hoya shares his support, saying he wishes Pacquiao all the best. He firmly believes Pacquiao can absolutely do it, calling him a legend of the sport. According to De La Hoya, Pacquiao's experience and heart still give him a real shot at victory even against a younger opponent like Barrios.
I wish him all the best.
Quadra, I love him.
Can he do it?
Quadra?
Can he do it? Absolutely. Manny Pacquiao's
Oscar needs.
He's a legend. You know,
some nice ones, thank you.
He's a legend. I think he can do it. Absolutely. I mean, it's not going to be easy, but I think he can do it. Yeah.
Eddie Hearn shared insight into Canelo Alvarez's mindset heading into the upcoming fight with Terence Crawford. According to him, Canelo is determined not to lose against someone who comes from a lighter division. Hearn emphasized that while Canelo's pride is on the line, the financial incentives also play a major role. The size difference between the two may work in Canelo's favor, but Hearn noted that Canelo isn't taking the fight lightly. Instead, he's pushing himself hard because he understands how damaging a loss to a smaller opponent would be for his legacy.
How do you feel about Manny Pacquiao?
No, I love Manny, and I'm glad Manny going in too. Manny is one of the dudes that I think definitely deserves to be in. Manny always has been and always will be one of my favorites because of the way he fights. I mean, a guy to come back after being knocked out in two of his first three fights, then come back and do all the things that Manny did. That story is also just as awesome as Manny Pacquiao's story. You feel me? I mean, come on. Most guys can't bounce back from a knockout period. He got knocked out early in his career twice and came back and did all this?
Eddie Hearn approaches Pacquiao's return with a balance of admiration and realism. As a promoter who has watched countless careers rise and fall, Hearn understands the danger of nostalgia-driven comebacks. He doesn't dismiss Pacquiao's skills. He recognizes that few fighters in history have Pacquiao's resume, but he emphasizes that time away from the ring matters. Inactivity can dull reflexes and chip away at conditioning, especially against younger active fighters like Barrios, while Hearn admits Pacquiao might still outclass many opponents. He also warns that expecting a repeat of Pacquiao's prime years could lead to heartbreak. His tone is one of caution, advising fans to respect Manny's legacy without setting unrealistic expectations.
It's a very contentious subject, like, people moaning about Manny Pacquiao. I think Manny Pacquiao is still good enough to beat most fighters in the top 20 at 147 pounds. He's clearly not the fighter that he once was. You're not going to be at that age. My problem is that he's been inactive for quite a long time. Like, we were talking about fighting him with Conor Benn maybe 6 months ago or a year, and every month or 3 months or 6 months that passes, you do become a lot older. So, I guess there's two questions. One is, should he be fighting again? And at the end of the day, if he's good enough to beat everybody outside of the top 20 in the world, then why not? But should he be fighting for the world title? I guess that's another question. In the commercial world of boxing, the answer is yeah, probably. In the ratings world and activity world, the answer is probably not.
Do you think it's strange that he's coming off the couch and getting a title fight like that?
I think when you've achieved what he's achieved, you've always got the right to do things a little bit differently to others. And with all due respect, Barrios is not Boots, and Barrios is not Crawford. And that's why, we pushed the Conor Benn fight. Conor Benn, his best win is against Algieri or Van Heerden. So actually Pacquiao is a step up. And people were still complaining at me for mentioning that fight, like Conor Benn is Boots, but he still hasn't had those wins yet.
Ricky Hatton raises the alarm on how far the sport is willing to stretch age limits for big names. He sees the Pacquiao versus Barrios bout as part of a troubling pattern, one where aging legends are approved for competitive fights that might do More harm than good, Hatton reflects on his own experience and relates it to cases like Mike Tyson's late return, suggesting that regulators are no longer strict enough when it comes to protecting fighters. He doesn't doubt that Pacquiao still has skill, but he questions whether he should be allowed to compete at this level.
4 years he's fighting for the WBC welterweight title. That's July the 19th in Vegas, ironically. What did you make of that news when you heard it?
Well, it's boxing today, isn't it? To be honest with you, boxing's, if you can let a 58-year-old Mike Tyson box a Jake Paul, then Manny Pacquiao going back at 46 doesn't look too bad, does it? But Manny's coming back though. Tyson was coming back fighting Jake Paul. Manny's coming back fighting for the world title. And I say this with love, how has Manny got his world title shot? He's been retired 6 years. He can't. He's got that on previous successes, hasn't he? To walk straight after being retired so many years ago, straight into a world title fight. How is that allowed possible? What happened? Surely he must have been dropped out of the rankings when he retired. All of a sudden, he decided to make a comeback. They put him straight in at #1 contender. I think only boxing can answer that.
I think did you say fifth, Joe? He's been already placed fifth in the world ranking.
Fifth in the. How can he be placed back in the top 10?
Comeback fighter.
Yeah, when you've been retired years, and currently on your previous, he was a hell of a fighter a few years back, but we don't know what he's going to be like today. So you'd like to think he'd have a couple of warm-up fights so we can say, yeah, and then get him in. But boxing these days, I think the money's everything in it.
You fought both, obviously. In your opinion, who's better? Who's tougher?
I think Floyd Mayweather. Yeah, I think Floyd Mayweather. I mean, and that sounds rich because he absolutely was probably one of the most brutal knockouts in boxing history, I'd say. When I see him getting knocked out by Pacquiao on Instagram or YouTube or anything like that, it's in the top 10 of the most destructive knockouts of all time.
Yeah.
But I was a little bit past my soul back in the day. I'd had one or two. I wasn't a master of defence like Floyd Mayweather. I'd take 4 to get one in sometimes.
Ben Shalom enters the discussion with deep concern. As a promoter himself, he knows the temptation that comes with staging a major event headlined by a legend like Pacquiao. But he also feels a responsibility to protect fighters, especially when they're past their physical peak. Shalom suggests that while Pacquiao's name guarantees attention, the human cost of such comebacks is often ignored. He points to examples of former champions who suffered both physically and mentally after 1-2. Many fights.
A lot of people, from that side saying that, Mario Barrios and Manny Pacquiao have been negotiating the fight and everything. And I'm going to just be real honestly, man, I don't care for this fight. Because I don't care to see Manny Pacquiao back fighting again in the ring. Like, it serves no justice seeing Manny Pacquiao after we just seen him fight in the exhibition and was, not looking good at all in this exhibition. Like, he did not look good in the exhibition fight at all. So I really don't want to see Manny Pacquiao fight Mario Barrios. Mario Barrios, he gets a big payday and he gets to put a legend on his resume. And I think Mario Barrios would definitely win this fight because I just don't think Manny Pacquiao has any gas left in the tank to fight, at an elite level like he did in the past. And I don't want to see him mess up his legend over trying to come back and fight, a younger fighter when, Manny Pacquiao, he's way out of his prime. So I don't want to see this fight in particular for real, but yeah, Manny Pacquiao, like, damn near close to 50, man. Like, come on, man. It was hard watching Manny Pacquiao in the exhibition fight that we seen him in a few months ago. Like, shit, that's why Ryan Garcia was about to fight the damn dude because Manny Pacquiao was getting clipped in that shit, man. For real. He was getting clipped, man. So I'm like, I don't know if I want to see Manny Pacquiao, fight anybody.